Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to go on a little field trip. We are going to go to the Fairbanks Sportsman's Warehouse. Now, Sportsman's Warehouse, for those of you that are not familiar with that chain, it's like a Cabela's, all right? So it's a sporting goods company and they have everything. Why am I going there? Well, I wanted to go on a little field trip and do something fun today, but also this is the first store that I would go to when the balloon pops. While everyone is trying to get their rice and beans and toilet paper, those things that us experienced preppers already have. You should already have your beans, your rice, and your toilet paper, right? I'm gonna go to the store that people aren't thinking about because they're panic buying rice and beans. I'm going to go to the store that has all of those goodies that we don't really think about on a regular basis, like for fire starting, for cooking outside, tents, sleeping bags, work boots, work clothes, firearms. They have everything, ammunition. So a place like Cabela's or Sportsman's Warehouse, ladies and gentlemen, I think would be a great place to start off the end of the world as we know it, should the balloon pop and everyone else is out at Costco or Walmart filling their carts with toilet paper. So let's go out and drive over there, see what they've got today, and see if we can get ourselves in a little bit of trouble today. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the snow is starting to melt on the highways, but not so much in the back roads where I live. There's a spot near where I live that there's usually snow all the way through the month of June. And I think that this year is going to be a cooler summer than usual. So I think that it's going to last even longer. And I almost forgot to tell you all that this video is sponsored today by Contingency Medical, who provides emergency medicines and antibiotics. So stay tuned to hear about Contingency Medical if you don't have your emergency antibiotics yet, because it's something that I feel that everyone should have. Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that sky. It is a beautiful day outside. Unfortunately, this time of the year when the snow is melting off, you get to see all of the ugly that was buried under the snow during the winter. Well, here we are. We're almost at Sportsman's Warehouse. You can see that we're passing Walmart right there. And you can see all of the other junk food places that we have here in Fairbanks, Arby's, McDonald's. And I do think that they opened up a Carl's Jr. here not too long ago. But we are going to go ahead and head right into Sportsman's Warehouse. And this right here is probably the second place that I would go to, Lowe's, to go shopping right before the end of the world as we know it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got here a few minutes early before they open, but I thought that I'd take a minute and maybe bring up something that some of you may be thinking. AP, if, society is breaking down, let's say, to the point where people are panic buying and they're trying to get everything that they can and they're stripping the stores for bare essentials, why would you want to be outside anyways? Don't you already have all the things that you need? I've always stated that we should always keep a little bit of dry powder, what I like to call, at home. That way, if you have opportunities, and what I mean by dry powder is like a little bit of extra cash that doesn't have, it's not earmarked for anything. That way, if you have an opportunity to capitalize on the price of goods going down or getting prepped even more right before the balloon pops, as I like to say, that you will have that extra dry powder there for you to use. Well, one of the things that I think is going to happen, and we all have to prepare in a manner that is conducive to what we think is going to be the catalyst that's going to push us over the edge, right? Either a society breakdown or the banks fail or whatever it may be. We all have to prepare for what we think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is that we are going to have some kind of an economic collapse before we have any kind of wars or anything like that. I think we'll have some kind of an economic collapse, either in the form that the banks shut down or that there's a liquidity crisis or that the dollar is just greatly devalued and people are trying to get out of the dollar as soon as they can. Well, when something like that happens, if you take a look at history, all you have to do is take a look and see what your average people have done in the past. And what have your average people that have not been prepared done in the past? Well, they've gone out there and they've panic buy. They'll panic buy into food. They'll panic buy into anything that will, hold their value, and they'll do it last minute. And usually stores like this, like Sportsman's Warehouse, you know, Sportsman's stores, or even Lowe's, as you saw me pulling in here, even stores like Lowe's, those stores aren't really thought of by your average person at first. They're thinking about life-sustaining things that they need to get, like food, water, medicine, etc. They're not thinking about nuts and bolts from a hardware store. They're not thinking about getting extra bullets, about maybe going out there and purchasing an extra firearm while they still can from a Sportsman's Warehouse like we're going to here in a minute. They're not thinking about going out there and getting long-term food storage. They're thinking about mere survival in the next month or so and trying to get their money put into something that is not going to be 100% devalued. I already have all of the things that your average person is going to go out there and panic buy. So go to a store where you don't think, which I don't think that this store will be panic bought during any kind of an initial grid down or any kind of an initial, banking collapse or anything like that. I don't think that this store would be panic bought at first. It will after all of the things run out at your regular stores, at your Costco's, at your Walmarts, at your Fred Meyers, etc. They'll get panic bought eventually, depending on how long the crisis goes, depending on how much faith the people have that the government will actually uphold the strength of the dollar once it starts failing. So eventually it will get panic bought, but in the beginning, I don't think that it will. So this is one of the stores that I plan on going to first. In addition, one other place that I will go to first, probably on the way here, is to a gas station to fill up as many cans of gas and fuel as I possibly can haul, all right, safely. That's one other thing that you can't have too much of. All right, so let's see. Okay, well, they're opening the doors. Let's head on in there. Before we walk in there, ladies and gentlemen, I just noticed that Lowe's over here has a few trailers out here on sale. So I wanted to check them out and see what the prices are. But just looking at this, thinking about this, Lowe's is definitely a place that I would hit up while everyone is panic buying elsewhere. Think about how much stuff you can just get at the garden center. Seeds, fertilizer, gardening tools, gardening gloves, all that kind of stuff that people don't think about until it's too late. Now, I can tell you what, the price of these things have really gone up. $1,262, ladies and gentlemen, for a 5-foot by 8-foot little mesh wire trailer. And I do believe that those wheels are rated for only like 2,000 pounds. And I was really wanting to get one of these this year, but man, I think the prices have pretty much doubled. Let's take a look at what the prices are for the ones that are a little bit bigger and that have a treated wood floor. Look at this, $2,252 for a 5x10 with treated wood floors. That is amazing. This one is a 4x6 for $1,000. A 4-foot by 6-foot. And this is actually the size that I would like, is something small like this that's about a 4x6 foot. This would be perfect for me to be able to haul little things that I need to haul around. But that's incredible. It's a sign of the times, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and head into Sportsman's. Now, this is something that I might have to look into getting this summer. It's a little smoker that uses wood pellets. And I can get in a lot of trouble here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go check the fun stuff first, and then we'll finish it off with like the clothes and boots. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for having to voice over this portion of the video. I didn't notice when I was walking around the store that there's music playing in the background, and that's a big no-no for YouTube. It looks like they've changed this around right here. This is where the Jetboils and the Jetboil butane cylinders used to be. And now, as you can see, they have Mountain House, and I don't think I've seen ReadyWise foods here before. But take a look at all of this stuff that they have. Do you think that when people are panic buying at supermarkets, getting their rice and beans, that they're going to be worried about getting backpacks like this that are really high quality? And trust me, when you change your dollars over to stuff, you want to make sure that the stuff you're changing it over to is high quality stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that way, in case you need to use it for yourself, you'll have it there. But look at all of these igloos. Do you think that people are going to be thinking about getting these types of like refrigerators, or not refrigerators, but coolers that you can have just in case the power goes out so your food can last longer? I mean, you have water treatment stuff here. This store, in my opinion, is like a gold mine of things that you would need for if your country is turning into a third world country, because these are the things that are not going to be very easily available due to the value of the dollar or whatever currency your country has is being diminished by. So the more that the value of the dollar is diminished, the harder that it's going to be for any country that you're in to import these goods that you see here. And unfortunately, as you all know, most of these things have been imported. Now, I mean, they have stuff here to make sausage, to make meat sticks. And I mean, they even have these awesome machines where you can make your own sausage. And I don't know how to make sausage. I've never really done it. But I mean, these things are pretty pricey now. Imagine what they would be 2-3 years after the devaluation event occurs, right? Let's go ahead and call it the devaluation event, where the dollar either has to change to a different form of currency because it's now worthless, or where the dollar is devalued even more than what it has been in the last 100 years or so. So take a look at the prices now and maybe add 5x to those prices. And I have one of these little tanks, and I've never seen them sell it here. I got mine a couple of years ago, I believe, and these are pretty cool because instead of using the 1 pound cylinders for propane, you can actually use these here, and I believe these are 5 pound cylinders that you got here. Very handy to have. And look, they even have the refillable kits here from Flame King. I could never find these, and I finally was able to order one off of Amazon, and now they have it here locally. But that's something you want to look into, and I'm actually going to be doing a video on those refillable propane canisters, because look at the price of these. $7, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if I'm getting excited here, but $7 for a 1 pound propane. I think it's worth the investment to get some of these and fill them yourselves, and then you'll have that forever pretty much. And do you all remember when Coleman Camp Fuel used to be like $9 or 12 bucks for a gallon? Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. As I've stated in the past, our lives have changed. This is something that you want to stock up on as well if you have a camping stove that uses it. They get more expensive every time I see them, but I still grab a few because I know that I will be able to use it in the future. You can get just about everything in this store, ladies and gentlemen, so I want to take a minute to talk about what you cannot get. I've partnered with Contingency Medical because they provide us the opportunity to purchase emergency medicines that include antibiotics. Just like having a good water filtration system in your home is paramount, I believe that having a set of personalized emergency medicines is just as important. With Contingency Medical, you can legally obtain prescription antibiotics that will be prescribed to you by a real doctor and filled by a real pharmacist in a real pharmacy. The process is very easy and only takes a few minutes. Take a look at the link and a code that will save you some cash under the description of this video, and I will leave it on a pinned comment. Thank you very much, Contingency Medical, for sponsoring this video. My point is this, ladies and gentlemen, even if you have everything you think you're going to need for an extended period of time, if you know that time is running out and you have to use your cash, because again, I feel that we're going to have a liquidity crisis and cash is going to become a little scarce, meaning that it's going to have more value, but not too many people are going to have it. So you're going to be able to find deals. But then after that is when the hyperinflation comes. Almost everything in this store, and you'll see as we walk around, almost everything in this store is something that someone could use or something that you can use, right? And even if you have some of it, or if you buy double of it, it's something that you can barter away and be able to hold your wealth in that item. For example, this turkey fryer. It's not just a turkey fryer. You can use it for cooking for a lot of people at one time outside, right? You can either use it yourself or barter it away. But the key thing is to not let your dollars sit under your bed or in your mattress until it's worth absolutely nothing. And here you have some of your cookware. I'm not sure what this one is made, Camp Chef, but I do know that Lodge iron or cast iron is made in the United States. So if you're going to pick up some cookware, make sure that you make it large because it's made here in the U.S. And as you can see, they have pretty much every darn thing that you need here. Now, this is something that you might want to be getting, right? Last minute, something that no one is going to be thinking about. I'm telling you, they're not going to be thinking about this unless they're preppers, right? I mean, you got your cups. You have everything in this store, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much anything that you want to find, you're going to find it here. They even have a butcher paper cutter that you can cut butcher paper. And here you have your vacuum sealers that are the brand of Sportsman's Warehouse. And here you go. Here are the jet boils that used to be in the front over there. So it looks like they moved them to a smaller area. It's not as many as there used to be up where they used to be in the front before. I actually have both of these stoves, and I love Jetboil. And as you can see, when we turn the corner here, this is where they put the rest of their stoves and butane cylinders. So it's nice to see that they still have as many as they had before. Although look at this, the butane cylinders went up in price about 5%. They used to be $9.99, now they're $10.45. I guess with the way that things are going nowadays, it's not that terrible of a price hike. But I do see that they have considerably less than what they usually had in stock before. And usually when I come over here, I'll pick me up 3 or 4 of these because it's just a force of habit. It's something that I know I will use and something that I know will definitely maintain its value for a very long time. So I always pick a few up. And I usually always pick up a few of the cans of butane as well. So I'll probably end up picking me up 3 or 4 of those also. But you can see that even here they have Mountain House aside from the other freeze-dried foods. And look at this. This is Billy and Dee's favorite freeze-dried food, Peak Refuel. And of course, Billy and Dee are from Frontier Preppers. And take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. $82 for, I believe that's a 26-ounce can of hamburger from Mountain House. 28-ounce can of hamburger from Mountain House. And that's $82. If you do not have a freeze dryer and you can afford to get a freeze dryer, you'll definitely make your money back if you freeze dry proteins. And here we're going through the rest of the store. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in high speed or a little bit faster so you can go through it a little quicker. I'm sure that you don't want to go through the next 15 or 20 minutes of me just yapping about everything that they have here. But as you can tell, I love this store. I like coming here. I don't come here that often because whenever I do, I usually get in trouble. So I'm going to try to stay away from the gun racks today because that's what usually gets me in trouble. But look at these, ladies and gentlemen. Before I stop my yapping, these will be great if you have a large number of people that you need to cook for outside, or if you want to do some pressure canning outside like during hot summer days. Those would be great. I think we're going to be taking another field trip sometime this week. All right, I'll leave you in suspense on that, but it should be a pretty interesting one. And it's for me to go and get something fixed that really needs to get fixed, especially here if you live in Alaska. And I'm sure many northern states in the lower 48. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in. I hope that you have a great weekend and that you are having a great weekend. Other than that, God bless every one of you. Remember to be good to each other, ladies and gentlemen. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.